Bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-dum da-dum da-da-dum ba-dum ba-da-dum ba-da-dum da-dum da-dum bum ba-da-dum ba-da-dum da-dum da-dum ba-dum ba-da-dum ba-da-dum da-dum Friends, good evening. So nice to see everyone. So nice to see you all. Hi, Mighties. Hello, Facebook Livers. It's so wonderful to be here. Yes, I saw that, Harry, and I feel the same way. I look forward to Monday nights too. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like old friends. I've gotten to know people this way. It's so wonderful. Hi, Monica says. Hi, Rebecca. Hello. Hi, Lisa and Paula. Hi, Paula. Deanna from Ontario. Yeah, things are maybe changing in Ontario for good for a while, perhaps. I'd love to hear more about. We just looked it up today to see what's going on, and about going across that old border. We shall see. Um, but still, the same players in the same places. So I don't know how lucky we're going to be with that. Thank you. And we changed our study group just for you. Oh, aren't you sweet, Leanne? Good evening from, what is that? Pashigo, Wisconsin. I don't know Pashigo. And hello from Cincinnati. Yes, better in Ontario. I know it is better. There's no doubt about it. And Becky from East Aurora. I remember you, Becky. How are you? How nice to see people. It's just great. It's just wonderful. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Joette Calabrese, and I'm here every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And we've been doing this, I think I figured we were doing this 5 years now, 4 years, something like that. And it's every Monday. And I'm here to teach something that will be of use to you. I'm going to teach you from my Materia Medica. And it's, my goodness, I didn't even get it out, for goodness sakes. My Materia Medica. There it is. So we go through medicines, and should you be interested in this Materia Medica, certainly contact my office, or you can go on our website and purchase it. And so, but you don't need to have my Materia Medica. There are many Materia Medicas. Different authors give different perspectives. Now, for those of you who do know me, hi. It's so nice to see you all. It's great. And so tonight is an interesting conversation because we're going to be talking about a medicine that some people have very good luck with, and others just falls flat. Um, and so, but I'm going to give you more than one remedy, and because we're going to be talking about obesity, and who doesn't feel obese? Anybody here doesn't feel obese? Most people, by the time they reach 50, feel as though they've gained too much weight. Maybe they're not classically or overtly um, obese. But nonetheless, we all worry about our weight gain, don't we? It is something that we have to think about pretty regularly. And so we're going to be talking about a couple of medicines. So the first one, my friends, is graphites. Graphites. It looks like graphites, but because this is Latin, we pronounce it a little differently. It's graphites. And it's made from black lead or graphite. Pretty interesting, huh? I'm going to read to you from my Materia Medica just to give you a picture of what this medicine is about. And then we're going to go into how the Banerjees and I have used it for certain people for um, obesity. Okay, graphites is the foremost remedy for all types of skin conditions. Okay, brittle nails, cracks or fissures in the skin, and rashes. It's helpful for any eruption that is oozing, sticky, and honey-colored. So for most homeopaths, that's what they think of. When they think of graphites, that's the way they learn it. And they also know that there is a tendency for people who need this medicine to also have a weight problem. And I'm not talking about someone who would like to lose 5 pounds. We're talking about, something a little more substantial than that. Okay. So consider this medicine whenever you find cracks between the toes or fingers, eruptions behind the ears and the sides of the nose, conjunctivitis, cracked nipples after nursing. And it's helpful for ringworm when the scales are thick and the secretions are honey colored. For fungus on toenails, it's a great one. I use this all the time for fungus on toenails. It is a solution that won't cause liver damage. Did you hear that? This doesn't cause liver damage. Why would that be? Well, because it's not patented synthetic drug. It is made from graphite. And so, Doctors Banerjee also use it in a 1M potency for obesity. Now, for those of you who have any classical homeopathy training, you're going to say, oh, graphite is 1M. Okay, that's interesting. But the Banerjees use it, get this, daily. 1 dose every single day of graphites 1M. I know that sounds like blasphemy. But I also have to say that if there is obesity, and I mean true obesity, okay, we're talking 40, 50, 80, 100 pounds overweight, etc. And you can find any of these other conditions that I just described, you got something there. It's more likely to act. So if there's toenail fungus, or if there's cracking of skin, or if there's skin that oozes, and there are fissures in the skin, and obesity, nice. You got a nice picture there. So it's what I tell people. They always worry, well, what about proving? Well, you can prove any medicine at any time, and I don't care what the potency is. I'm sorry. I don't believe that it matters what potency it is. Remember, these are our medicines. So I have used this for certain clients. When I first learned about it, I don't know, 7 years ago, I used it frequently. And it was useful for, as I said, some people. I'm going to say maybe, I don't know, 40%, 30% of the people. I'm jumping off the top of my head here, but it's not the only medicine we've got. And I also want to address this fear of provings. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't worry about provings. I look at a proving as if somebody feels worse after taking the homeopathic medicine. Generally speaking, that means you back off of it. You don't use it. Then you try it again at a later date. And if the same thing occurs, you back off of it. Now, there are occasions, and this is going to also sound blasphemous. There are occasions that when we use a medicine and it causes some symptoms, yet it's also acting in another way, the way that you had hoped, and the symptoms that it's causing can be ignored, then we ignore them. If the symptoms cannot be ignored, and yet it is still working and acting in the way that we'd hoped, then, oh my gosh, this is so blasphemous. Oh yes, I use the homeopathic medicine for the provings. Yes, I do. I know. I could be jailed for this. Homeopathy jail. Classical homeopathy jail. So, for example, if someone has an infection, and let's say it's sepsis, and hypericum and arsenicum are used, and the sepsis is abating, but now the person has anxiety. The sepsis is abating, yet there is anxiety, then we use something for the anxiety. You might use coffea, 200. So I know that's a concept that many don't know about, but I want to put that out there. Now, this is something that is really used for people who are a little more studied in their homeopathy. But for those of you who are not, it's a writer downer for everybody. Write this down. It's useful because a big part of homeopathy and the most difficult aspect of homeopathy is case management. But you know what? That's no different in any kind of medicine. It's the same thing with chiropractic. Is the method acting? And if it is, after a while, now what do we do next? If it's someone who uses botanicals, if is the medicine acting? Are the herbs working? Well, they're working, but now what do we do after 2 months, month and a half, or whatever? So it is important that you know that the most difficult part of any kind of treatment is assessing what you've already committed to after a certain amount of time. Okay. All right. So 1M once a day, but there are others. My dear friend Joe De Lavera talks about Nat Fuss. He says that Nat Fuss 30 after meals acts to help reduce weight. Now, that does not require obesity. That could be simply someone wants to lose a few pounds. And so it's natrum phosphoricum, nat phos. It's a cell salt. We can also use it in a 6, but Joe De Lavera uses it in a 30. And that's used after meals, after each meal. Now, what if you snack through the day? Are you going to take a nat fast after every snack? I wouldn't do that. I would try to keep it to the classical times of eating: breakfast, lunch, dinner. Okay. All right. How about another medicine? Hi, Harry. Hi, Sandy from Minnesota. All right. Listen, does it have to be obesity? Someone says. Could it just be overweight? In medicine, being overweight is called obesity. In common language, we call people who are obese quite overweight. So obesity is the word for the word obesity means overweight. You know what? I'm going to show you something. This is Robin Murphy's 4th edition of the Repertory, and I thought that you might want to see this. Is there a problem? No, it's working on Facebook. It's working. It looks pretty good to me. You want me to hit it again? All righty. So apparently something's going on. And okay. So I'm going to turn it to the page on obesity. There's no section in Robin Murphy's Repertory titled overweight. It's called obesity. Okay. And so I'm going to show you all the medicines that are listed here. And then I'm going to show you what all our choices could be. And then I'll break them down even further. This is what it looks like. Can you see that? Oh, obesity. Right there. See that? Aconitum. I'm going to hold the book up. Anacardium, see the ANAC, anacardium. Do you see calc? That's capsicum. You see ferrum. Graphites, you see the GRAPH, graphites. Calibicromium, you see that? You see how we're going? Natmur, Phytolacca. Those are all the top ones. Those are not the only ones, as you can see, but those are the top remedies. So, what's my next choice? Other than nat phos and perhaps graphites. My next choice is Calcarea carbonicum 30. And that is something that I also learned from the Banerjees. I don't know if they call it a protocol. I don't know if they'd actually say that, but I saw them use it, and I have used it for folks, and I have seen a change. Now, here's the interesting part of this. When I teach, and I have taught that for immunity, for someone who has a problem with immunity, not someone who wants to let's just build the immunity. No. Someone who has a problem with immunity. In other words, they get a cold every month, or they can't get over colds. They get bronchitis frequently. We're talking about catching a virus or something like that. Bronchitis, pneumonia, colds, constant colds over and over and over again. That's an immunity problem. And so we often use calc carb for that. But many times people have a misunderstanding of what I mean by immunity. They're thinking, oh, well, vitamin C will build my immunity. I'm not talking about building immunity. I'm talking about a concern that the person is has an immunity condition. It's actually a a pathology. If there is a pathology of inability to be able to get over colds on a regular basis, then we're talking about calc carb. So interestingly, many people misunderstood me and they thought, oh, it's just to build some immunity. I want to make sure I don't get a cold this fall. No. Oh, nay, nay. That's not the way it works. So what happened was many people reported, oh my gosh, I'm gaining weight. I'm taking this calc carb and I've just put on 5 pounds. Or I've been taking this calc carb and I put on even more than that. Holy cow, now what do I do? Well, the first thing you do is pay attention to what I said. I never said this was to build immunity. I said calc carb is specific for a pathology of lacking in immunity issues, okay, or lacking in immunity ability. So, what happened was these people were proving calc carb. What does it mean to prove calc carb? It means you didn't need the medicine and you took it anyway, and it caused what the medicine was intended to correct. What's it intended to correct? Calc carb is intended to correct obesity. So it will cause obesity if it's used incorrectly. Is that not beautiful? So, if we have someone who fits a picture of calcarea carbonica, meaning they also have a problem with immunity. They get colds too regularly, they get flus, and they're always catching whatever goes around. They always get a sinus infection. They're constantly getting bronchitis, etc., etc. And they also have obesity. You got a medicine that probably is going to help with both. And it's going to be Calcarea carbonicum 30. You want to know the potency? Anybody want to guess what the potency is? Let's try. Let's see if you know what potency is. Sorry, I said potency. The frequency. Tell me what you think the frequency is. Okay, let's just take a look and see what we've got here. Let us just see where people are. Nat Phos, where to buy Nat Phos? Well, of course, certainly OHM carries that potency. They absolutely do. It is a full service, not retail, but their service every other day, every 3 days, 2 times a day, every other day, 2 times a day, once a day. Karen, once a day. That's it. Karen got it. Once a day. It's a low potency. And yes, you're right. We have used calcarb in every other day for those conditions of immunity. But when it comes to immunity and also obesity, and particularly if obesity is our focus, we can count on it working for obesity. Or I can't count on it 100% because I have to tell you, I find obesity to be a very difficult thing to treat. We also have to consider other possibilities. What if someone has a tremendous sweet tooth? Then we have to use medicines that are specific for that. And I talk about this in great detail in my Good Gut, Bad Gut course. Should you be interested in going into this a little more deeply? So we're going to use Graphites, 1M once a day, or not and, or Nat Phos 30 after meals, or not and, Calc Carb 30 once a day. So the screen says the event hasn't started yet. I give up. This Facebook business is, it's so frustrating. I can see myself, and then I see it stopping and going and stopping and going. Yep. I don't know what's going on. I will tell you that I'm also very seriously thinking getting off of Facebook and going to, I don't know, Rumble or something, Gab, something else. All right. Well, is it a 30X or a 30C? Well, usually we use it in a 30C. Chelidonium can be used for sugar cravings. Chelidonium is a great remedy for the gut in general. Phytolacca, oh yes. Phytolacca is a good choice too. I mean, look, when I look at obesity, there is phytolacca. Remember, I showed it to you? I mean, we could say, what about, here's obesity again. What about ferrophos? What about Kelly bicromium? What about Natmur? Those are all the most important medicines. What about the italicized ones? What about aconitum? Starting at the top again. That's italicized. I can barely read this. Aluminum. I'm going to jump around. Antimonium crude. We know that's a good one. So is arsenicum. These are all good medicines that can be considered for obesity. Hyoscyamus. Good medicines. Lactifluorum. Lactifluorum is a great one, especially. Are you listening? Lactifluorum is particularly valuable when someone cannot take milk and has obesity or dairy. That's lactifluorum. So you see, the choices are, I wouldn't say they're endless, but they're plentiful. Let's put it that way. I'm watching. Rumble is nice and easy to use. Yeah, I like Rumble. Yep. All righty. I don't know if you can see. I'm looking now at, there's a delay on Facebook, and I'm looking to see what you could see there. I think that you could see that well enough. But listen, if you're serious about homeopathy, my friends, you want Robin Murphy's repertory. Really, you kind of have to have that. As much as I like to teach protocols, and I will teach them till the cows come home, there are times when we don't have protocols, or we have a protocol and it really has not acted. We've given it our good, but it's due, but it's still not acting properly. Then we go to the repertory, and that's what I'm teaching in my academy right now. How to go to the repertory, and when we do go to the repertory, now what do we do? What potency? What frequency? And what should we watch? What should we be watching for? So it will round out your education. But let's say you're really kind of new to homeopathy. You're really fairly new, and it's a little over the top. Then do consider joining a study group. I can't urge you enough. You see this community that we have together here? That's the kind of community, and then some, when you join a gateway to homeopathy, because now you're meeting people every week on Zoom. You can all see each other, you share, you help each other. It is a great community. And then you go on to other more involved classes and courses, I should say. Okay, let's see what some of your questions are. Let's see if I can find some questions that go with Facebook. Very strange. I don't know how this works. All righty. So, let's see. I love my new study group. Such lovely ladies. Yeah, you know what? You really get to know, you share and you share and you share. And in this world, and you share and you share and you share. And in this world, my friends, we need community. We need community for our medicines, for our learning, our studying. We need community for our foods. I am a real, I feel very strongly about people buying from small family farms, especially farms that have a membership, private membership associations. I like the idea that people have a source of food that for which they don't have to count on big business. We don't want to have to count on Whole Foods. Who's had it with Whole Foods? I've had it with Whole Foods. And so I'm not going to say I never go there, but it's not nearly as common a part of my life as it used to be. So let's see what else we've got here. We've got 5 more minutes. Yes, I love my small Weston Price farm. You bet, Pam. Yes. And I think it's always best if it's local, but if you can't get local, then you go with somebody who delivers from Pennsylvania, like Amos. For those of you who know about Amos Miller online, there are some very good farms all across the country. I grow my own greens. I can't read it. It's moving up so quickly. Something way I don't understand the word. On a positive note, you have over 300 viewers on Facebook. I keep inviting people there. Yes, I know. You're absolutely right. But I have such a hard time getting this information straight and clear on Facebook. Very frustrating. How long would you use Graphites 1M for toenail fungus? That's a good question because toenail fungus takes forever. So I would use it for many, 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 many months. And then there'll be a little shift. It will look a little better. Perhaps it won't be as friable. Because also it takes a long time for nails to grow out. It's not going to just poof go away. That's what happens with homeopathy when we're using it for an acute situation. But when we're using homeopathy for chronic, and that is fungus is a chronic situation for most people. Craving for salty might indicate Natmure. It might indeed. Yes, absolutely. And in that case, I might use 6X. All right. Let's see what else we've got. I'm using sepia for help with premenopausal issues, and this is the first winter I don't add a few winter pounds. So that is good. You bet. Because sepia is, of course, very hormonal. And if the pounds that are gained every year, every winter, are related to the hormones, and then sometimes we don't know this, but sometimes it's pretty obvious, then indeed it may help. Is it 200C for toenail fungus? I've used it both in the 200 and 1M, but I most often use it in a 200. And we use it twice a day. Psoriasis, yep. How often on the Natmure? Yeah, I would use it 2-3 times a day. Not unlike the way Joe DeLavera uses Nat Foss after every meal. I might use it after every meal. But remember, 3 meals, not snacking in between. Okay? And okay, I've already given the frequency. How often on the Natmure? I said that. Toothbrush your toenails with apple cider vinegar. Yeah, Terry, that's interesting. I've often told people, I've never thought of using a toothbrush. I've always told people to put it in a spritzer bottle, and after getting out of the shower, spray the toes with vinegar, with raw vinegar. Yes, absolutely. And another way to do it is with essential oils. Certain essential oils can be very good. All right, I'm using Natmure for mercury poisoning, says someone. Okay. Regarding obesity, what is specifically used for binge eating? Binge eating is a little different. And I think of binge eating as anacardium. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to give you the exact potency and everything, but I do think of anacardium for binge eating. Also, lycopodium. Lycopodium is great for overeating, not knowing when to stop. Yes, remember to share this, please. I'm a retired pharmacist, and expensive pharmaceuticals that have serious side effects take months of use to benefit. Yes. And then you pay for it. Your liver pays for it. You're absolutely right. Thanks, Bob. Nice to see you here. Yeah. And okay, Colorado would love to know more. Okay. Regarding obesity, what is specifically used for? Okay. We already answered that. And mother tincture calendula. My guess is you're talking about mother tincture calendula for the toenail fungus. Is it Natmure or Nat Foss cell salt? Both Natmure and Nat Foss are cell salts. And Nat Foss is the one I discussed, but someone brought up Natmure. All righty. I think we have got it. Lycopodium. Let me just go back to that binge eating or not knowing when to stop eating. Is lycopodium. And I would use that in a 200 potency. And I would also tell you that I would use that particularly if someone has bloating. Okay. Okay. I'm just seeing if we've got any other important questions here. I think we've got it. 8:30. Time to go. I have a class now, a gateway to homeopathy class. That if you have not taken this class or this group, study group, I should say, it's not a class, a study group, I urge you to do that. It is where you will learn, where you will meet others. And we need this again. I'm going to repeat it. We need this community, my friends, more than ever in this world in which we live. So thank you, everyone, for joining me and inviting me into your home. God bless all of you. And I will see you next Monday.